For more on the debate going on in Congress right now, I'm joined by Democratic Congressman Adam Schiff of California. He's a member of the House Intelligence Committee. Congressman, thanks for being with us. Will you give your president the backing he wants for a strike against Syria?
Well, the resolution that has been proposed by the White House at this point I cannot support. It's too broad. But I think that resolution will be narrowed. Right now, by its terms, it would allow everything from cruise missile strikes to boots on the ground, and I don't think that will fly in the Congress.
You just heard John Kerry there saying that there wouldn't be boots on the ground. Is that narrow enough for you?
No, I don't think most Americans will accept Congress authorizing an open-ended commitment, even though the administration says it won't utilize the full extent of its authority. I think the Congress is going to require this be on a much shorter leash, that the terms of what is allowed be much more narrowly constrained.
So just how narrow would you want it to be? I mean, the administration is saying that this is about degrading the chemical weapons of President Assad. Is that going to be narrow enough?
I think the terms of the resolution are going to have to be limited in time. I think they're going to have to be limited in terms of what can be used, and I think they'll probably have to specifically exclude boots on the ground. And it has to be spelled out very clearly. This must be designed to deter and degrade the use of chemical weapons and not be a broader involvement in the civil war.
But is there a worry that if the authorization is so limited, then it's just completely ineffective and the strikes achieve nothing?
Well, it will be a difficult balancing act for the White House to gain congressional support for this. You do have some, like Senators McCain and Graham, who are arguing for probably a very broad authorization because they want to see not only the degrading of Assad's capability, but, as they put it, the upgrading of the rebels' capability. At the same time, if they make it too broad, they're going to risk losing many Democrats who won't favor going beyond a limited strike to deter Assad. So it's a difficult balance for the president. I think that limited cruise missile strikes could be an effective deterrent. One of the other concerns I've shared with the White House, though, is many members of Congress, many Americans are concerned about the U.S. going this alone. And it will be very important for the administration to show that there's international support.
Well, is it enough to have France? Is that a broad enough coalition?
I think the coalition is going to have to be much broader than that. It was a real blow to lose Britain, one of our staunchest allies. But the administration, I think, is working with great diligence to show that there is international support for this, but clearly has his work cut out for him.
Now, how helpful is it to the president the fact that the top Republican leadership came out and backed him today?
I think it's very helpful that both the Democratic and Republican leadership came out in support of the president today. It won't be enough to win over many members. You have a very large contingent within the Republican conference of libertarian isolationists who will not go along with the president no matter how the authorization is drafted. And you have a sizable contingent of my Democratic colleagues who are so exhausted by the wars in Iraq and Afghanistan that they won't support any military action. So it's a challenge to navigate this.
It's a challenge, and if you were to guess, do you think the president is going to win this vote?
You know, I think it really, at this point, is far too close to call. This is one of those votes, as we saw in the British Parliament, that we may not know how the ayes and the nays line up until the vote is actually called.
Congressman Schiff, thank you very much indeed for joining us.